Amazing experience. We got treated, and people have been asked back from Spain tours, and the artist there, Micah, she's been in contact following stuff what I've been doing and saying if she's in the UK, like, she'd definitely get me back on board and little things like that. So it's building up networks, but if it wasn't for my uni, I would never have experienced that. So quickly shooting through like uni, saying yes to all the jobs while still getting a degree is really hard, and like that's probably the time where you've got to pick. It's the first and second year, say yes to everything, be involved in everything. The worst thing that you can do, the worst thing that's going to happen is that you're into it and then you're like, this isn't for me anymore, I've got to prioritise. Third year I was in 7 different bands playing whilst doing the degree. It nearly killed me, but it was also the best thing I could have done, because third year is like your last year, and you need to work with everyone you can whilst they're still under one roof before you go away. Because you've got people flying out all over different seas, doing different things. And the best thing to do is stay fresh in their mind. So if you've worked with them in the third year, and then they go and sign a contract with Universal and they need a session drummer, they say, oh, I'm going to ask Greg because he was great and he did the whole uni, and even though he was doing his degree, he still did every gig, even the shitty ones in the really shitty bar, he still played and did those gigs. And this is the part of where I'm going to try and move slowly from uni life to then like professional career. Because I've been a professional musician for 2 years now, and that's been a different learning curve. But the reason why I've taken you through stages is just saying, this is all really achievable. And like I said, I didn't want, it's very easy to come up here and talk about myself, but I wanted to start with the person who was below you to show you where you can go, rather than coming in here like Barry Big Balls saying, oh yeah, I played this, I played this. Yeah, any questions? Doesn't help you. So I really hope this isn't boring.
It's great.
Silence, not great start.
Great.
That's fine. We can work it. Anyway, yeah, gigging till late, sometimes earning money, playing function stuff. Quick show of hands. Anybody playing gigs in pubs earning a bit of money? No? So it doesn't matter if you are or not. Cool, yeah, even if it's like 20 quid, it's good. Get out and gig. Have you heard of the whole free gig trial thing? Everyone's like, oh, it's a joke, they just use you once and sack you off. Just do it. If you're a little guitarist, singer, songwriter with an acoustic guitar, you can earn hella dollar, okay? Serious dollar. More than a drummer can, trust me. So, get out there and start gigging for free for once, and then give yourself some value. And they ask, how much do you want? Go higher. If you want 50 quid, say 80 quid. Okay? They might say yes, they might say way too much, and then you say, well, what about you? Because you've set the tone. Learn business. Music business is a massive key point of your career. You can be the best drummer in the world, or stop talking about drummers. You can be the best guitarist, best saxophonist in the world. But if you can't talk to people and get what you want, who's going to hear you play? Okay? So getting out there and playing, whilst you're in town, just think, there's so many dodgy bars that might want a little acoustic guitarist on a Friday night before it gets rowdy, and you earn 50 quid and then you can go and spend it on whatever you want. Work with as many people as possible before you graduate, before you leave here, because those people will come back. I've already said that. Third year, Tube Extra. Right, so the end of Lipper in third year, we do like a big gig. It's basically like the O2 Oxford. Do you still do that?
Yeah.
Sweet, love that. It's basically that, just on a few steroids. It gets streamed around the world, and record labels get invited in, gets put on Bay TV, Liverpool Locals TV, and yeah, industry get invited in to do this. And Eno G, who is a good friend, G1 Chun, he was from South Korea. He's probably one of my best mates, actually. And we met on the Spain tour. He was the guitarist at Lipper on the Spain tour. And he asked me to be his drummer. So this is a clip from that. Now, this is in the Paul McCartney Auditorium. You got to see it, right? Pretty cool, isn't it? It's like a 500 capacity main hall. It's really nice. So I'm going to play you a little clip of that, but it's just to show you, this isn't the best to show you musically, because this is the last this is the last song of the set, the last chorus. And I got this clip. It's going to look really self-indulgent. I got this clip because I saved it because I had a little drum solo at the start, okay? But it's the only clip I had, and I know it looks really anal, but I'm going to have to show you this clip.
Yes,
but yeah, anyway, boom, I'll play it and stop talking.
On drum!
that was like our final performance. Now, the engineers, the cameramen, all LIPA. So this is the thing about when you go to a performing arts university, everything in the performing arts industry is under one roof. So you got your music management team, you got your stage design, you got your techies, you got your camera crew, you got your sound engineer. That was all students, and it was broadcasted as a massive student event. The one thing is really good as well is like, you might go to a university like that and then think you want to do something different. So like, is there people who do like producing? Is there any producers in the house? No, that's cool. Doesn't, yeah, cool, one, it's fine. If I come back 2 years later and you've gone to uni, I reckon there'll be about 5 or 6 hands up. Okay, so it's like one of those things where you're going now, it's really good to go to a performing arts university, specific music or performing arts, because you are a creative person, that's why you're here. And you might change that, okay? You might change your avenue slightly. So I graduated, I was about to graduate, and I got my first pro paid session gig. Look who's back. The guy who auditioned me, who I got hanging out of a window, who's been teaching me for 3 years, he came up to me and was like, "Hey Greg, are you free next Saturday?" And I was like, why does he want a beer with me? This is really weird. You know, is he grooming me? What's going on? He's like, just got a little gig down the road. Drummer's broke his fingers, something. Drummer's broke her fingers. And can you do this gig? And I was like, oh, here we go, I've made it. This is amazing, okay? Got this little gig, it's gonna be a little pub, it's gonna be chilled. I had to learn, hang on, let's just have a look. Yeah, quick. Just a little gig down the road. I had to learn 15 songs I'd never heard before. Obviously couldn't tell him that because he'd sold 7 million albums of his own music. I didn't know who he was before I even met him. And I didn't know any of the songs, but obviously I heard them all and I thought they were amazing. Had one band practice and my dissertation was due. Don't know if you guys, do you know what dissertation is? Yeah, so right, dissertation is your final essay of your whole degree. It's probably about 10,000 words, give or take. And you've got to choose your topic. Mine was how to make a living out of being a full-time session musician, and I got to speak to like Ash Sohn. I don't know if you know him. He's the drummer of The Voice. He plays for the Adele's album. Goes on tour with it's not Bon Jovi. It's another one. It's an older guy. Sorry, Nick. Yeah, it's one of those old dudes. And and I got to speak to like Jay Sikora. Don't know if you know him. Search the drummer Jay Sikora. Look him up. He played for like Paolo Nutini, Lianne La Havas, Birdie, and all that. So I got to email. I was stressed out. I was doing a dissertation. It was mental, and I had to learn 15 songs for this little gig down the road. And he was paying me 150 quid session gig, and it was a real big thing. Thank God I put my time and effort into it, because this was the little gig down the road. Little gig. Tranmere Rovers Football Club Stadium, Prenton Park, 15,000 fucking people. Little gig. Tiny, right? As you can see, I was shaking like a shitting dog. If I didn't rehearse that gig and had one band practice, I would probably be working in Wetherspoons down the road right now telling you once I nearly made it. Please, if anybody gives you a gig, work your arse off, because if I didn't work my arse off and I put my dissertation first, I wouldn't be here. It wasn't 15,000 plus a gig, it was like half full, but it was still like 6,000-7,000 people. It was the biggest amount of people that I've ever played with at that time. So that was like my little gig, and it scared me shitless, okay? So that's just a little thing. Even if it's your mate, I've known him for 3 years, he was so casual asking me, and I ended up paying that and then did one of the headline tour shows. I think I did like 2 or 3 gigs with them around Sale, Manchester, Liverpool, Blackpool, and then the drummer came back and it was her gig, and that was fine. So, where is this going? Oh, then I graduated with this little old man. He was nice, he was cool. Met Maka a few times whilst at LIPA. He was a really nice bloke, he's really cool. First time I met Paul McCartney actually, I was in the recording studio at LIPA, so they've got studios like this, and it's really glorious and they're lovely. And it was like 4 in the afternoon, and I think it was probably like the 2nd or 3rd time I'd ever been in the studio. I was working with my mates and we were working on this project. And next thing you know, the door goes, and I couldn't hear anything because I was in the live room, and I was like, Why are they taking long? They're taking my time. It's taking a piss. What are they chatting about? And I couldn't see everyone. I could only see my mate on the mixing desk. And I was like, who are they talking to? Like, this is ridiculous. I was thinking, they got a group of girls in there. I'm going to go in. Like, what's going on? Paul McCartney was standing in the mixing room. I nearly wet myself. I was a little girl. My voice went up 10 octaves, and I hardly spoke to him. And I can talk, right? I could not talk to this geezer. He smelled amazing. His skin looked like your nan's after moisturising it 100 times. It was unbelievable. I had a moment. I had to compose myself. I was a mess. I was like a 4-year-old when you say no chocolate. I nearly had a tantrum. And I was so pumped thinking, oh, there's other girls now. I'm going to tell them to pull their weight because I'm in the studio. And he just turned around and he went, good job, man. Good job. Something nice. I was like, I love you. I think I love you. I don't know what's going on. So that was cool. So I met him, graduated. He's really nice. The whole thing's really nice. They actually do these talks in LIPA, so it was really fitting that Nick asked me to come back. So we get people in who come in. So we had like Guy Pratt who played bass for a little band called Pink Floyd. He came in. He was fucking cool. Paul McCartney came into the masterclass. We had Natasha Bedingfield come in, and I was doing the whole pop thing. Like, Natasha Bedingfield's in. She's sick. Her voice is amazing. She is where she was and where she is for a reason. She was incredible. So I'm sorry if this comes across self-indulgent, this presentation, but I've sort of gone off what I had at LIPA because that really helped for me. Is there any questions at the moment about like the change from uni to professional world to opportunities to anything like that before I go any further? You're really bored, aren't you? This is brilliant. Okay, I'm enjoying it. So, anyway, so what do you want in a career? So, like, what's your big dream? I've even put here, ask them and stop talking, Greg. So I've got to ask you. Put your hands up if you know. Right, everyone's got a dream, yeah? Give me your dream. One head. Give me your dream. Yeah, what's your dream? Sorry?
I want to sing.
Sing?
Yeah.
For money?
Yeah.
Like professional singer. Earning money, earning your living, no matter what it is, by singing.
Yeah.
Cool. Achievable. Easily achievable. I've never heard you sing, but you're here and there's so many opportunities. Right. Someone else. Yes. What's your dream? What's the dream? Everybody's got a dream. It doesn't matter. Like, you might think it's silly, it's not silly. What's your dream?
I just want to progress in like music industry.
Cool. So once again, earning a living in music. Do you know exactly what you want to do in the music industry then?
Yeah, anything. Like, I'm very open, so I'm kind of like a session musician, like being in a band.
Cool. So like more performing, like,
Yeah.
like using your skill, not like music business. It's
Yeah.
more you want to be like performing some sort of.
Yeah.
Cool. What about my man there on the phone? That's alright, man. You can finish that, but I want to know what your dream is. Is it to text a really good lady?
I have like different ideas, like
Which are?
like jazz band.
Cool.
Because I'm already doing an orchestra as well.
Nice.
Between those two.
Sweet. So like bigger picture. Is there one of those where you want a little jazz quartet, or you want to go like big brass jazz band, big like orchestral swing stuff?
Yeah.
The bigger the better. Like
Yeah, being a drummer for it.
drummer for it. Cool. So have you looked into like musical directing for it?
No.
More like being the player in the band, being the drummer. Cool. That's cool. How's your reading?
Fine.
Good. Keep on that because that is serious reading. At the back, red jacket, cool hair. What, that's you, by the way. Yeah. Sorry. I hope that was a nice description. What do you want to do? What's your big dream?
I don't know. Get good at guitar.
It's hilarious, but that's exactly what I would have said. I would, just get really good at drums so people hire me, right? So you want to earn a living from being good on guitar. That's great. You know what? I've got a friend at Liverpool who's this tiny dude. He looks like someone out of Lord of the Rings. He's got really long hair, and like walks like this, and he's like really awkward. No, he generally does. He's the best guitarist I've ever seen in my life. He's got a deal with Ibanez, where they fly him around the world to demonstrate the new guitars. And you go into his house, it's a really cool job. And he's such a humble dude because he's like little gremlin. He's like, honestly, he'd kill me if you heard me saying this, but he is a little gremlin. He can drink like a big gremlin though. And you go into his house and I'm not exaggerating, I mean like 30 guitars, like just lined up. And they go, well, what they do, Greg, is they send me the new model, the demo. I get to play it for 2 weeks, and then I give them my feedback on it, and they have a team of 10 other guitarists around the world who do that. I think he's the UK one, it's mad. And then they go back and they make adjustments, and they give him a signature version of it, and then he gets to travel around the world at guitar showcases and festivals playing it, shredding the hell out of this guitar, and he gets paid serious money and gets to travel the world. So being great at guitar is a great answer, man. That's the God's honest truth. That's one of my mate, Jack, he's just mad. Top tip, be open to everything, because you don't know where it's going. Is this going to get to the point of, yeah, great at uni. I don't want to play in theatre shows. Reading dots is boring. No offence, I'm wrong. I was, at the time, I was adamant I was right. I don't like electric drums. I don't want to study how to use them. Okay? I was a prick. Yeah? I didn't have